So what did he discover? He discovered a formula. He discovered this formula called the Four Noble Truths. What is the Four Noble Truths? That the moment we see suffering, the moment we see unsatisfactoriness, the moment we see disappointment in our lives, we must realize that this is happening. Accept it. Second is that what was the cause of this unhappiness? What was the cause of this unsatisfactoriness? There must be something that triggers it. Then he realized that this is because of attachment. When you are attached to something which you don't want to change, you crave for permanentness. You crave to be happy all the time. You crave for youth. You crave for good health. You crave for life. But unfortunately, all this doesn't hold. It's impermanent. And there's no permanentness. That's why we are unhappy. So there is this craving, which is divided into three. Craving for existence, bhava tanha. That means I want to live. I don't want to die. Everybody don't want to die. You all want to live. The moment someone wants to kill you, you say, no, I must find a way to survive. I must find a way to live. But one fine day, you will have to die. So that is called craving for existence. And because of the craving of existence, it propels your mind. Life after life, like a force that is pushing you to live and to live and to live, and you never cease to exist. There's another craving, second craving, called craving for non-existence. When life was so unbearable and so difficult and so full of sorrow and unhappiness, you say, I don't want to live anymore. I want to die. But the moment you have this kind of thoughts, then your mind is also not at peace. There is this force that will then propels you to live again, to be born again, and then eventually relive the whole life again. Third is craving to please your sense doors, sensual pleasure. Craving for sensual pleasure. Your eyes, your smell, your hearing, your taste, and your touch. Because you enjoy the world through these five sense doors. If there is no eye, is there anything called color? Is there anything called beauty or ugly? If there is no hearing, is there anything called praise or scolding or blame? If there is no smell, is there anything called perfume or smelling? If there is no taste, is there anything called sweet, sour, or bitter? Is there no taste, there is no touch, no feeling, then there is no such thing called smooth or rough. We practically enjoy the world through these five sense doors. Without the five sense doors, nothing to enjoy. So therefore, because you enjoy the five sense door, you want to keep on enjoying. So you crave. There is no limit to craving. And because there's no limit to craving, that's why we are caught inside this samsara. And to be born again and again and again. And the Buddha says that was the cause. The reason why you are suffering, the reason why you have old age, sickness and death, is because you are born. 有生就有老，有生就有病，有生就有死。And because of birth, that's why old age, sickness and death have to happen. If you don't want old age, sickness and death, then don't be born. Can or not? Cannot, because craving. The second noble truth says you have craving. And because you crave for existence, you crave for non-existence, you crave for sensual pleasure, your mind is still driven to take existence again. After you finish this episode, you go to the next episode. Next episode, you have never ending. You are in the cycle of samsara. The third noble truth says, now you have identified, that was the cause, isn't it? That was the cause of your birth. And that was the cause of your suffering. So if you want to remove the suffering, you must remove the birth. And you want to remove the birth, then you must remove craving. You must end craving. Can you end craving? And say, I don't want to see beautiful things. I don't want to taste nice food. I don't want to hear nice words. You can't. So because of that, we are caught in that web, life after life. Until we come to a practice to say that I want to reduce that craving, cease from craving, and craving, then there will be the cessation of dukkha, nirodha. The fourth noble truth is the methodology or the path that will lead to the cessation of the craving leading to suffering. If you can slowly reduce your craving, if you take something not sweet, boleh lah. If you hear something not nice, boleh lah. If you have no nice clothes to wear, also can lah. Can you be like that or not? If you can achieve that, slowly, that craving force becomes less and less and less. Until one fine day, you understood anicca, anatta, dukkha, and realize that all phenomena in this world, you shouldn't get attached at all, because there's nothing for you to attach. Kong. And since there's nothing for you to attach, then there is no more craving, no more grasping, no more propelling, no more driving this energy that is inside your mind. Because when a person lives, you are comprised of two forms of energy. What are the two forms of energy? Nama and Rupa. What is Nama? The mind. What is Rupa? The physical form. That means you are a combination of two forms of energy. One is called the physical energy, and the other one is called the mental energy, which commonly we call it the Pancha Khandas, the five aggregates. Four of the aggregates makes up the mind. One of the aggregate makes up the body. Together, these two bundles, the five bundles of energy, react with each other and thus create what we call a psychophysical being called a human being or human. A psychophysical being called an animal. A psychophysical being called a deva. A psychophysical being called a Brahma. A psychophysical being called a Peta, all within that 31 plane of existence. Each of these planes comprise of a psychophysical being, depending on how much combination they are. The four aggregates that makes up the mind is called consciousness, perception, feelings, and volitional thinking or intentional thinking. Conscious, I'm alive. Perception, I recognize. In front of me is Brother Charlie Chia. Feeling, I feel good that he's in front here. But you didn't do any karma. It's the fourth aggregate, intention or volition or cetana, that says, why not I go there and slap his face? But if you don't slap his face, Charlie Chia won't scold you. If you don't slap his face, Charlie Chia will not come forward you and punch you. If you don't have the action, there will be no reaction. So understand this. Therefore, you have these four faculties of the mind. That's why you say, I'm alive. I recognize. I feel good. I would like to do something to this and that. So it is cetana that creates karma. That's why sometimes when you, mosquito die. Did you generate karma? Did you have a karma of killing? First, there is a being. There's a mosquito. Second, you know that the mosquito is alive, isn't it? Third, there was an action. Fourth, you look at the mosquito died as a result. So because you realize that the mosquito has died, because you realize there was an intention to kill the mosquito, and because there was an action killing the mosquito, and the mosquito died as a result of your action, 5 conditions all fully, then you have committed the great sin of killing. But if you, tidak sengaja, or you step on the ground, a lot of ants died under your feet. Was there an intention? So karma is only generated as a force when there is an intention. If there is no intention, no karma. If it's good intention, good karma. If it's bad intention, bad karma. So you understand? Later on when we go a little bit deeper on that. So this is the formula that the Buddha discovered upon enlightenment. And eventually the whole Buddha's teachings revolves around this. Talk here, talk there. Talk 3, talk 4. Four Noble Truths.